going to start. It's just about 5 after, and it's nice and cool in here. And I know everybody's anxious to get to the food, which is the wonderful part of the whole program. You know, as I look around, I know I'm competing against the Hartford Fair, so I realize that that's an important event too. But I look at when people are coming in, people that have over the years have looked at us and said, we can make this happen, between board members and business and industry people. So I'm very, very proud of that. But again, I'd like to say good morning, and my name is Alice Davis, and I'm the Administrative Director and the Guidance Counselor for the Susquehanna County Career and Technology Center. We would like to welcome and thank you for attending our new building's grand opening and ribbon cutting ceremony. This project was a major undertaking for our area, and we are proud to announce how we plan to utilize this facility. First, I would like to share that all of our new and existing programs are considered high priority by the state, which means that you can make a family-sustaining wage, which is approximately $30,000. In other words, parents, they can stay in the area and not live in your house. Now we are certainly competing in a global economy, and these programs will not be outsourced. In other words, they're not going to be going overseas, which is very important for our students. I have comments for students too, and when I give presentations, this is what I say to them. Students are otherwise known as the Millennium Children. Here is our commitment to you. We will teach you to your learning styles. You will be taught by a competent and caring staff. We are in ourselves hiring the best of the best, and I can guarantee you that we have the best staff that will go above and beyond to help you succeed in whatever you need to do. And the reason that I know this is true, when we were interviewing students this year for an interview process, and I said to them, we're going to be hiring new teachers. Tell me what our current teachers are doing you like, so that I can make sure they continue to do that in the future. And these were the comments they said. They really care about us. They're approachable. They'll help us not only with our subject areas here, but other subject areas, and they really act like they like us, you know? And so I shared it with the teachers, because that's important. You know, we have always been a school of choice, but now regular schools are a school of choice too. And so I think it's important to remember, you know, why we have our jobs. It is because of our students and our adult learners, and that's why we're here. And the hiring practice, and my staff can memorize this, they did it the other day, but I want the public to know, when we hire staff, you know, sometimes you get people that are very competent in their area, but when I hire them, that is number 5 on my list of important information. Number 1 is attitude. They have to have a good attitude, because when you shut that door, they control the climate of that atmosphere, and so that needs to be a good atmosphere. The next one is you have to be flexible. Things change. You know, we could have 7 school districts that come, a snow day, 3 can't come. You're planning on a test. You have to be flexible. You also have to be a team player. You know, we're known as a team here, you know. Whether they like us, they like the Career Center, whether it's the restaurant, the clinics, the house projects, we're known as one entity. So we need to be very proud and work as a team. The next, we have to believe we can educate all students. And that means special ed, gifted, and everyone in between. If it is truly their goal objective and their career objective to come to the Career Center, and they have the ability to benefit, then we need to accept them. And I always say there's something good in every student. I think it's easy to say maybe there's not, but if you dig down deep enough, you can find something great in every single student. The nice thing about our Career Center, too, is that it is truly competency-based, which means you work at your own pace. You know, some students work faster or slower than others. You don't have to wait for the class to catch up. So when you graduate, not only do you get a diploma, but you get a list of all of the competence to share with colleges or employers. And our goal is that when you graduate, students graduate, they can be gainfully employed or attend a post-secondary education without remediation. So many times they have to take extra courses that they're not getting any credits for as extra money, so our goal is to make sure they don't have to. And the reason being, if you look at the statistics, Students now have a $1 trillion debt for financial aid. And that's pretty scary. And if you talk to some of those students, some of them don't see a light at the end of the tunnel. So what we need to do is prepare them for future jobs and not past jobs. The nice thing is we provide project-based learning. Currently, the students are working on building a house every 2 years. And this is truly contextual learning at its best. You know, quite often as the guidance counselors, you know, students may say, Dr. Davis, I don't know why I need to know this. They should never be asking that question. You need to know it because of, and here's the reason why. And again, we're very, very proud of that. Next, we believe that we have 4 audiences, the Career Centers, to work with. High school students, and really, they are the reason we have our jobs. We have to look at them as very important and very valuable individuals. The second is the adult learners. We have individuals out there that need to be trained or retrained, and it could be because of companies downsizing or just jobs being outsourced. So we need to re-educate them. And one of the things, we used to have an RN program here with Luzerne Community College, and statistics were that 100 people would take the nurse entrance exam and only 15 would pass. The other 85 did not. Now, it doesn't mean the other 85 weren't intelligent individuals. It means that a lot of them, it was 20 years ago since they took a math class or a science class. So, you know, I think we need to look at, get a baseline, what do they know and what can we do to help them? The next is business and industry. We know that you need highly skilled workers. We know time is money. And that's why we do meet regularly to make sure that we can meet your needs. And the last is the community. You know, it's the community, you may be, your children are all grown up and you're still paying taxes and wondering, what am I getting back? The nice thing is that we have a business and industry lab available for the community. We have the school district that can be used. You can come in and eat in the restaurant. You can go to the cosmetology clinic. Now we can do small engine repairs. There's a lot that we can get back. And the nice thing is because this year, for example, cosmetology is going to be opened up 5 days a week. And I'm going to tell you, we're open some Saturdays and some nights. And because we're a nonprofit, we only charge what it costs for the program. And it's amazing how many will come with a carload of individuals and they waited till the last time to get their hair cut because it's so inexpensive. Or eating in the restaurant, because if the afternoon, the group sits there and they're there from when we open at 11 and finish at 1. And so it's nice to be able to give back to the community. And if you can eat at our restaurant, we have the Surface Solarium and we have the Touch of Class. And in those restaurants, you know, you can get shrimp, lobster, chicken and biscuit, soups, salads, about anything you want. So it's really pretty amazing. It's not like some of the other career centers that have like hamburger hot dogs, so we're really proud of that. Next, I'm going to talk to the baby boomer generation. They're the ones that are going to retire, or have retired, or hope to retire someday. It's important that we invest in our students because they need to be gainfully employed so that they can pay your Social Security. So it's real important to say, we all, as you can see, we all have a very vested interest in education. I'd like to take a few minutes to share some of the new endeavors we're working on. We are now starting our first LPN program. Come right in. We're starting the new LPN program. And with that being said, the job market, if you look at it, it is the highest priority jobs out there. 50% of the people in the next 5 years are going to be retiring and are over the age of 50. And I don't know about you, but someday if I need the medical field, I hope to know we have skilled workers available for that. And speaking with business and industry, they'll say, Dr. Davis, you know, locally we're struggling with nurses because they're going to Scranton and Wilkes-Barre. And Scranton and Wilkes-Barre is saying, you know, we're struggling because they're going to Philadelphia or Pittsburgh. Our goal is to make sure there's enough medical individuals out there, whether it's a CNA or RNs or LPNs, to be able to meet their needs. And again, we hired a coordinator, Sherry Basin. I know she's here today. Great credentials, and it's going to help our program be able to grow. We're going to start that program in 2013. But the other important component that I said that we didn't have before, we're going to test them, find out what they know, and from there help them get the skills they need to pass the nurse's entrance exam. Next, and another exciting thing that we've been working on for approximately 6 months, is we're going to market with Mansfield University. We are partnering with them. They are going to be on our site here, and we are going to be on Mansfield's site. And as a guidance counselor, I was thinking about this. You know, there's a lot of great things that are happening with this, but as parents, we still like to hear they're going to a four-year school or post-secondary education. How better to put the combination together that if you go to the Career Center, they're actually affiliated with Mansfield. So you will be able to get associate's degrees, and we can now get an RN program here because of the connection with Mansfield. So they're doing a lot with the gas and oil industry too. So it is still in developmental stages, but the good thing is we have in the new building a business and industry lab. We can do webinars, we can do distant learning, we can do video conferencing, blended instruction. Because the only thing I can tell you for sure right now, that education is going to change the way we know it now. Societies are changing, times are changing, and so we need to change to be able to stay up with all of the technology that's out there. So with that being said, in our classrooms, instead of textbooks, they're going to have laptops and be able to research material. Because usually the textbooks are every 7 years, they can be replaced. Technology changes every year or two. So, and that is what business and industry said. You know, they have to research. We need those critical thinking skills so they can look up the information that we need. And so, as you can see, I definitely feel that we are moving in the right direction. Now, last but not least, because I'm watching my clock, so we have the right time here, I have to thank my staff. And I always brag about them, and I truly mean this from the bottom of my heart. They are the best staff you could ask for. And I'm going to give you some examples, not because you take my word for it or the students' word for it. The patio that's out there in the new building. Mr. Fenton and Bruce Costelli came in on their own time and put the patio in for us. The shrubs that are out there, the staff came in and planted the shrubs and put the mulch around. Now, I have some really good pictures that'll probably be on the America's Funniest Home Videos you can watch in a couple weeks or whatever, but really, they go above and beyond. They really, really do care. And that's something that's not taken for granted. So again, I know they're here, and I want them to know that I really appreciate everything they do. The next is Ed's Landscaping, Creative Landscaping Tunkhannock. They donated several of the bushes to our Career and Technology Center. And same thing with Rogers Nursery in Dallas. Did the same thing, donated some of our nurseries. And one of the things we said is we want to look like a college campus. And so when Mansfield came up after the landscaping was done, they were truly impressed. Next, I have to thank People's National Bank. That's where we got the money. You know, when you go out in these tough times and say, hey, we'd like to borrow like $7 million, you know. We remember we were going out and talking to several banks on this. And I'll never forget the meeting, and it was with Joe Ferretti from People's Neighborhood Bank and Jack Ward. And we went through this process. He said, after looking at it, within 30 seconds, he knew this was a good investment. And he believed in us. And so with that, again, I'd like to thank People's Neighborhood Bank. Also, John Cropcho, our architect. You know, I'm amazed at how much work goes in underground and over in the roof and the ceilings and stuff. And again, he did an outstanding job with their architect doing the designing here. And the next gentleman who is not here with us today, unfortunately, is Mike Valenzino. He's the superintendent for Marpol. Where we're at today is because of him. He made things happen, and he looked at it and said, this is going to be a great school, which it is. And again, Ken Truman. He's considered our building project manager and clerks of the works. That sounds pretty impressive. You have no idea how much work is involved. Ken has been in here days, nights, weekends. It's almost like it's his own house. And I think he is here more than his own house too. But he really took pride in it and said, I want it to be right, you know. And the good thing is he was very particular, which is what you need to have. It needs to be just right. And so, again, we have to thank Ken Truman. And again, the sending school board members and their districts and their principals and administration for sending the students to us. my Director Advisory Council, and the Occupational Advisory Board, for them too. And then we need to thank our students for coming to us, believing in us. And I'm going to tell you, this is an absolute true story yesterday. Lackawanna Trail principal wanted to come through the facility. They just hired a new assistant principal. He said, can I come through? I know timing is bad, but I'd like to come through. Absolutely, you can come through. He said, we have a student that's moving out of their district as a senior that wants to stay on Lackawanna Trail so he can come to the Career Center. That is the only reason he is not moving. And that's kind of pretty impressive, you know. The other thing he said that stuck out is that, in my mind, is that we do Student of the Month, you know, and we make a big deal. We give them an ink pen, we give them a certificate, we give them a free lunch, we send a letter to all the school districts, the parents. And he said, when you send me that letter, we recognize them at our board meeting. He said, but you know what else is real impressive is that those students, if it's their first year, a year ago, probably would not be in school now or weren't doing well in school. They found their niche and are doing very, very well. And last, but certainly not least, I have to thank Dr. Bush and the school board. You know, nothing can happen unless it starts from the top down. You have to believe in us, you have to believe it's going to happen, you have to believe that we're moving in the right direction. And I know they do, and I know that they've gone above and beyond, and I know that sometimes people maybe couldn't see the value of the Career Center, and we're out to prove that this is absolutely the best investment the school could make for the 4 audiences that I spoke to you about. So with that being said, thank you so much, and I'd like to welcome Dr. Bush to give a few words of comments.